Bailey's the official campaign dog, by the way.
And I'd like to note again, what we have up here is the 8.5 by 11 version of the petition. And this is different because, again, our original strategy was not to get paid petitioner people, right? So putting 8.5 by 11 means they could go to recallgavin2020.com and print it out themselves. Orrin and I decided to empower the people of California to not have to go somewhere, do something, but they could start gathering signatures on their own. That's an important lesson for everybody here with these cameras. Understand? The whole idea is empower people with democracy. What a novel idea.
So with that, we're going to have a little rally this afternoon. Anybody else have any questions? Orrin, myself, and Mike will be available to do some one-on-one interviews with you guys afterwards. What's that, buddy?
We talked about
Oh yeah, put the total up here. Mike, put the total up there where we're at.
Horrible handwriting.
Come on, man.
Now let's see, this is more since I'm a volunteer.
That's a fancy,
Orrin,
that's a big pen you got there.
I do have a big pen.
What number are we putting up, Mike?
1,900,000. My writing is awful.
Get the guy who doesn't know how to write correctly and give him the Sharpie.
Just as if you make a mistake on a petition, you just cross it out and write it in bigger. 1,950,000 today.
And we will be hand delivering this to Gavin Newsom's house.
And for all the candidates out there, for everybody out there, I want them to really think of this. You guys have covered a lot of campaigns. The average congressional candidate gets 150,000 votes. All right, in the different districts, Nancy Pelosi got 275,000 votes. Yet, 1,950,000 people so far have signed to remove Gavin Newsom from office. God bless you and thank you for coming today. We hope to see you out in the rally.
We'll be available for any questions.
Are there any more questions?
Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll see you this afternoon at the rally across the street beginning at 3 o'clock.
Come on, come on. So Andrea has a wonderful story. So if you guys have any questions for somebody who voted for Gavin Newsom, this is Andrea Hedstrom. And she voted for Gavin, and she has another little story. I'll let you share with her.
Okay, yeah. Well, I am what I would call a lifelong Democrat, and I moved to California a decade ago, and I was pregnant with my third child. And I had my first son born, and I named him Gavin after Gavin Newsom, whom I had paid attention to from where I grew up in Washington State. So kind of as a gesture, as a transplant to California, and just out of respect for Gavin Newsom. So, and I've been involved with this effort to recall him. So I guess that's what Orrin kind of wanted me to say about that. And yes, I did vote for him. I did vote for him.
Is there something specific that Gavin Newsom did that made you want to pick up the task of recalling him?
Well, I heard someone ask earlier about like what the hot topics are right now, and the schools being closed is a big issue. I have 4 children, and I have a lot of friends who literally have left California because they don't have schooling for their kids, and just a lot of really tragic stories, like single moms who can't get their EDD checks. Like I think either Mike Netter or Orrin was talking about the corruption with the EDD, and so life has become really unmanageable for the average person, you know, with businesses dying and people not knowing if they can recover, families not having school. I mean, these are really basic things in my perspective. I have quite a few friends whose, children are having like depression issues, maybe mental health issues, even suicide. I mean, these are things that, you know, the average Californian wasn't dealing with a year ago. So this thing has kind of gone off the rails. I don't know if that answers your question.
No, is it a leadership issue, or is it a circumstances issue? Is it wrong place at the wrong time? What is it?
What I know about Gavin Newsom is he has changed 400 laws by executive order just since the lockdown. And that represents, I would say, misplaced leadership or a lack of leadership, because there are three branches of government. There's executive, legislative, and judicial. And so a year ago, when he closed the state down, he cut out the other two branches of government. And, you know, we're still a year later, can't get our kids back to school. We're the only state that's doing this. And I understand these are maybe exceptional circumstances, but why is California the only one that is watching the mass exodus, is seeing their people flee to Texas, is having businesses die, not having children in school? So I, at this point, would even take issue with the word leadership. I don't see him as being a leader. I see this in a different light a year later, as someone who's living with the reality of not having school for my kids. Again, that's a huge issue for families. That's why many, many families I know have left.
It's more from my personal interest. Do you prefer a Democrat? Do you prefer a Republican? Do you have an interest in who would replace him?
I do. I don't know who I would vote for. This has been a real journey for me because, again, I don't see this as a partisan issue. I've been out on the ground getting signatures, and I see a lot of Democrats signing, coming up and saying, you know, they lost their family business, they lost their home for whatever reason. So I think this notion that they were talking about earlier of politics changing in California, I think that's really true. I think perhaps we've been a little bit of a blue no matter who state, and I think people might be waking up to that process or logic not necessarily serving Californians. I know it's made me dig into places that I never expected to go and start to understand kind of the inner workings of politics in California in a way maybe that I didn't understand before.
I hate to take advantage of your time again, but can
No, I'm
you
here for-
just say your name again, and how do you spell it?
My name is Andrea, Andrea, last name Hedstrom.
And your mother?
I'm a mother of four, wife of one lovely husband named Dan, and he is a school teacher, and I'm a bit of a backyard hobby goat farmer, and we want our kids back in school, and we're ready for something different in California. And whether that means I'm going to be a Republican, I don't have an answer to that question yet. I'm just discovering this process as I go.
I appreciate you staying.
Yeah, and remind me who you're with?
I'm with Fox News.
Fox News, like Fox 40, or?
Fox News.
Oh, Fox News. Good. Nice to talk with you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, sure. Andrea. Hi.